Good morning. That's only incrementally better. Today I have my longest run of this training block and longest run ever, 12 miles. I'm currently training for the New York City Half Marathon in 3 weeks. It is my first half, TBD on if it is my last. But I'm just gonna start to get things moving and grooving, and we'll talk about what the plan is for today, about training, and I'll take you along for my last, well, not last long run, but the longest run, my peak. So like I said, I'm running the New York City Half on March 15th. It's a really awesome route because it is the only race in New York that goes over the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's only one of 2 times they ever close down Times Square, the other time being New Year's Eve, and I get to run right through it. So it's really iconic. I'm very excited. And like I said, this is my very first half marathon, and I'm actually running with a charity, Girls on the Run. Girls on the Run is a youth programming organization specifically designed around running, athletics, and they do a lot of great work to not only support young girls in running, but also giving them the empowerment and confidence to own their body moving through space, which I love. I think that's a very good fit for my brand. I'm pretty close to my fundraising goal. I think this video is going to go up a few days before the deadline. So if anyone would like to make a tax-deductible donation to help me try to finish out the amount of money that I'm hoping to raise, I will leave that linked down below. But let's talk about the plan for today. So like I said, I have 12 miles on the docket. Specifically, my coach wrote 11 to 12 miles, but this is going to be my longest run of race training. If you've been around for a while and you saw my whole documentation of training for the Bronx 10 mile, you might remember that one of my runs, I was given a range and I ended up finishing the extra half mile or mile that was given to me, even though I was having calf pain, and then I had a strained calf for a week and a half. So here's what I'm planning going into this. I have a route mapped out that we'll talk about in a moment that is 12 miles long. And the goal is to run the whole thing. If I get in that range of 11 to 12 miles and something starts feeling off, I'm just gonna stop. It's not worth it at this point. This is after this, I'm not building any more fitness, I'm just maintaining. So it's not worth creating a small nagging injury that I'm gonna stress about for the next 3 weeks. So the route that I'm running is actually really cool. I'm starting at home. I won't show you that part of the map. And then I'm gonna run south until I hit the Queensboro Bridge. I'll hit the Queensboro Bridge around 3 miles where I will take my first gel. And then after I hit the bridge, I'm gonna cut across Manhattan. Once I hit Central Park, I'm gonna go in and do that little lower loop that's about 1.7 miles, I think. But I'll exit on the west side and then I'll continue across until I hit the west side highway, greenway, whatever you call that, the thing that you can run down. And then I'm just gonna run down that until I hit Battery Park, which is the very bottom of Manhattan. Now I gotta tell you, the smartest thing that I did during this training block was last week. The charity that I'm running with, a month ago, I guess, they had reached out to all of us charity runners, and they were basically just hey, there's this Prospect Park track club 10 miler that we have a few free bibs for. Does anyone want one? And I was well, let me just look and see where that lines up with my long runs. And my long run that weekend was 10 miles. And I was oh, that's kind of perfect. And I've never run in Prospect Park before that, and that's where the New York City Half starts. So I was it feels like this is meant to be. So I ran that race last week. When I woke up in the morning, I was why the fuck did you do this? You could have just slept and done it whenever. No, best decision I ever made. Because again, if you've been around since the Bronx 10 mile, that did not go well. So the last time I ran 10 miles, it didn't feel great. And that was my longest distance up until today. So 2 things happened. I got to reclaim that mileage, which I think was really important. I rebuilt my confidence in distance, because one of the reasons I've not documented most of this training is because 90% of it has had to be on a treadmill. We had one huge snow that then it stayed freezing for, and this snow did not melt for a month. So I've had to do all of my runs during the week on the treadmill, and then pretty much all of my long runs on the treadmill too. And running 8 miles on a treadmill just doesn't really train you that specifically in terms of navigating a course and hills and, just the things that you deal with outside and having things on your person. So what I really got to do was actually just practice in a race setting. And that's what I'm going to plan to do again today. So I'm going to do the first third of this today at the goal is an average 11:30 pace. Nice and easy. The second third, I'm planning to aim for closer to 11-minute pace. And then the last third, sub 11, maybe around 10:30, but that might be a little bit too fast for my capacity. Again, I really don't have a lot of experience at this mileage. And then I would like to take the last mile a little bit faster. In that 10 miler I ran last weekend, I think my last mile was like 9:30 pace, which was actually really cool to just see like that I had that much gas left in the tank. I don't necessarily need to do that today because like now I know I have that capability, and that's a really good testament to like the base that I've built, and because that whole race actually didn't feel that bad. Where was I going with this? So anyway, I'm just gonna try and like mimic as much as I can for race day. Maybe not the exact paces I'm hoping for, but also I don't really have a goal pace. My goal pace is vibes. All right, I'm gonna start to get dressed and put in some toast, and then we'll talk about my strategy for like fueling, music, hydrating, all of that. Toast, butter, simple. I know I probably should eat more. Like someone's gonna be like, you need more than that. Honestly though, I did this, like I've done this for like every long run, and this works really well. All right, let's talk music strategy really quickly. I'll try not to talk with my mouth full. We'll get this out real fast so I can eat this. So my plan is, let's just talk about like the actual half, and then we're just gonna insert that on today. The first like 4-5 miles is through Brooklyn and then going up over the Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn is great vibes. It's also the beginning of the race, so you're excited, vibes are high, people always show up for Brooklyn. So my plan there is just like music. Nothing too hyped because again, I'm not trying to go super fast at this point. Then once I get off the bridge or maybe on the bridge a little bit, whatever, then I'm gonna switch to a podcast. The reason for that is because the next big chunk, I think it's the next like 5K or so, is on the FDR. So it's a highway, and I've just heard there aren't as many spectators. It's just kind of like a straight line, so it's a little bit of a slog. So I wanna put on something that's a little bit more engaging. Then once I hit Times Square, so I think that's around mile 10, vibes. Playlist that's hype, exciting, fun, making sure I don't like go too crazy fast during Times Square. That's also where my family is gonna be. So I'll stop and say hi to them for a second. But then once you hit Central Park, it's like just empty the tank and go. So today, kind of the same thing. Like once I hit the last 2 miles, I'll probably switch back to a hype playlist, or maybe just like whenever I feel like I need it, and then finish it out. So anyway, I'm gonna eat this before it gets cold and before it gets too late, and then we'll come back and I'll explain the outfit of the day. All right, the plan for the outfit. This is gonna be my bottom layer. It's also gonna be like up to 50 today, which is why I'm in shorts. Literally, we're getting another blizzard tomorrow, so great. So bottom layer, I got my shorts. These are from Lululemon. I bought them on a whim and they were like the best purchase ever. I've done most of my races in them. They have pockets, another pocket, we love. So I'm actually going to start, because I always run a little colder, I'm gonna start with this guy on top, and then I've run plenty of times with like this around my waist. The reason I definitely want to bring this is because last week after that 10 miler, granted it was way colder, I had on like my moisture wicking bottom, and then I had a big sweatshirt on and like my fleece lined pants. I was fine during the race, and then I had to take an hour-long subway ride home, and my undershirt was just drenched, so I couldn't get warm. I looked like I was having a seizure on the subway. I got home, my lips were just purple. I had to get immediately into the shower, heating pad on me. So I'm trying not to let that happen again. Again, it's gonna be like 20 degrees warmer today, but once I get to Battery Park, I'm just gonna take this off. I guess I'll tie it around my run belt, whatever, and then I'm gonna put this on because this will be a lot drier. I am gonna run with a belt, even though I've really come to love like free running, like with nothing on me, just like putting shit in pockets, because it's one less thing to think about. It's a little overstimulating, but I do have to bring water today. During the race, and I played with this during the 10 miler, I didn't bring my own water and I just relied on the water from the course, and honestly, it was great. I'm not someone who like sips a lot when they run. I could definitely be better about it, but for me, like the water stations on the course are gonna be plenty. That being said, I do need to bring water today. It's 12 miles, I'm gonna be fueling. I need liquid to like make sure that it's not just getting stuck in my intestines and that I don't get dehydrated. So I have a little water thing that I'll just clip right on here. And that's like literally the only purpose of this today. We've got 4 gels. Oh, that one's so sticky. I'm a Honey Stinger fan, honestly, mostly because it's a little bit more affordable. I do have a caffeinated one here, and then I just have 3 of the originals. The originals literally just taste like honey, so I also like it for that reason. It's not like super weird and the texture is good. So I'm planning to take one every 30 minutes. Nike Run Club estimates that I'll finish this in like 2 hours and 13 minutes. So we'll see if I want to take like my fourth one at 2 hours, or if I just want to like not. I know it's not silly to refuel when you only have like 15 minutes left of running. I don't know, we'll play it by ear. But anyway, I have 4 that I'm gonna bring with me. And then I also have to keep reminding myself, I did the math of the gels that I have, and it's gonna take me through the race in terms of like quantity. And after this, I'm not really planning on training this long of mileage. The next race I have is a 10K. I won't need fueling for that, so it's not like I need to be saving these for anything. But little salt tabs. So what I'm probably just gonna do is like throw a few of these in my pocket. And then some tissues, because my nose runs a lot. I have not perfected the snot rocket, so I just throw a few tissues in my pocket. All right, we got about 10 minutes. So let's get dressed. I'll put my keys in this back pocket, I think. Phone will go here. Yeah, I'm gonna try not to rely on these because the plan is to tie this around. Could you hear any of that? Because I'm planning to tie it around my waist pretty quickly. All right, we gotta make sure headphones are connected to my phone. I'm gonna try to use the bathroom one more time because every time this run belt touches my guts, it's like, all right, and then I guess the next time I see you, we'll be on the open road. Let's go. All right, 1 mile in. I think like 11:09, a little fast. I felt myself, this is the issue when I like have somewhere to go. Sometimes I push a little bit too much. So I'm gonna try to pull back a little bit before I hit the bridge. Queensboro Bridge is actually probably one of the hardest in the city. I just get in training on it. Brooklyn Bridge is like apparently a little steep at first, and then it just kind of flatlines. It's not that bad. So anyway, I'm gonna just keep making my way downtown, walking fast. Faces pass and I'm homebound. All right, let's go. All right. 2 in. Still going a little faster than I want, but I'll slow down on this bridge for sure. I just have to find the entrance. I always forget because it's new. It's on the south side. Where am I? All right, we're gonna not get hit by a car. All right, we've made it to Manhattan. Definitely made up some time on that downhill. Heart rate is still a little higher than I want it to be. I'm just not really good at it once it gets up, being able to get it back down without fully stopping. So it is what it is. No run is perfect. I'm feeling great though. So we will see you next in Central Park, which is coming up. 5. It's so crowded in the park, so I'm not going to talk much. Feeling good. A little downhill coming up here, which is great. Are we ready? Bethesda Fountain. Did you see it? All right, we just left the park, 6 miles, halfway. I don't want to jinx it, I'm feeling great. I'm going too fast. So far, I've had enough like stop and starts to even it out, so I'm not worried because I feel good. Once I get closer to the West Side Highway, I'm gonna stop and take my gel because I don't want to lose some momentum. Also, Abracadabra just came on, got a vibe with it. Let's go. All right, 7 in, right? Yeah, 7 in. That was my Garmin. They actually just redid all of this open space by like the pier terminal where you catch cruises and like right above the Intrepid. It's a lot more open, but it's about to close off. Feeling good. Finally took my second gel, and now I switched to a podcast. Good hang. Amy Poehler, Team A. Let's go. 8 miles. Mom spaghetti. Heart rate is definitely higher than I want it to be. Okay. I guess I'm just excited. I'm also going a little fast, but I feel okay. So I'm just going to keep trying to slow down a little bit because my pace is going great. We're at about Hudson Yards. Definitely really congested over here, so I'll check in as I can. But I'm feeling good. Nothing to report. Let's keep going. Oh, hey, Elise. How's my friend? What up, girl? You get it. All right, World Trade's up there. Little Island. We just really have a 5K left. So 30 minutes-ish. More than that, but about 30 minutes. I'm feeling good. I'm trying not to think too much because once I start to think, I start to panic. And when I start to panic, I want to stop. I'm allowed to stop to walk if I need to, but I don't need to. All right, let's keep going. All right, 2 left. I'm at 10 miles. I'm going to keep a little slower and then see how I feel on the 11. I'm actually not gonna lie. I feel like I did the math wrong. I think I'm gonna run out of Manhattan. Like run out of the islands to run at least south. We'll see. We'll see what battery parking is at. 11 to 12 is the goal anyway.
Let's keep it up. All right, 1 more mile. I think I'm gonna keep it chill pace. I did just have to stop and use the bathroom. That has never happened before, but I've never run this distance before. And I think I'm gonna have, red light. Oh yeah, green light. Let's go. I think I'm gonna have just enough to hit about 12 miles. I'm at World Trade right now. So a little bit further to get to Battery Park. I'll see you there. I did it. I'm really proud of myself. Just like never in my life did I think I would be a person who could run this distance, and I feel really good. I did run out of space at the bottom, so now I'm just above the last stop. I'm gonna literally get on the subway here and get home. We'll talk when I get home now, but I'm gonna catch this train.
It is 2 days later. I did not film when I got home. I did not film yesterday. It did blizzard. So now I'm just sitting here editing this video, wishing that I could do a recovery run today. But I'm really proud of my progress. I am happy that we start to taper, and then I'll be running a full half in just about 3 weeks. Once again, if you would like to donate to Girls on the Run to help fund my charity that I'm running for, that is linked down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.